Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and people who identify as other, including Mr. Chris Hill, and welcome to this wonderful evening of the Pascal Jean-Pietri Show, also known as the SSRI WTCC Championship. I'm Oliver Anderson, also known as Mr. Warner Oliver. Next to me in the commentary shed tonight will be Dominique Corgise, and behind the cameras are Chris Hill as always. Dominic, we are racing at the Slovakiaring this evening. We know that there are tri-oval layout of the circuit. Don't think that we will be seeing that tonight, but any expectations of this race? Not a track that any of us probably know or have ever heard about.
Yeah, hello Oliver. Nice to be with you again tonight. Yeah, I'm really excited again. Like every other race here in this championship was so much fun to watch. And especially with this layout, it seems like pretty difficult to drive on it, and I hope we see some good fights and maybe some crashes as well, but hopefully only fights and not crashes.
I hope we see some crashes. Maybe not crashes. Don't forget that I said that. No crashes, please. No, that's what we're all here for. Touring cars, we all know robbing is racing, and robbing these drivers will definitely do. Probably not under the sheets, but on the track they'll probably rob each other quite hard. And maybe some stuff will come out of the hood. But wow, that took a turn for the worse. Anyways, Slovakiaring. Once again we go to Eastern Europe. It's not the Czech track this time around, but somewhere in that proximity. A circuit with some, probably not so nice scenery. Unfortunately, we have been known to broadcast only the best of scenery in this racing series, but yeah, this track are somewhat flat and not a lot of buildings, not a lot of hills, not a lot of stuff to talk about around the circuit. So tonight we are hopefully going to talk a bit about racing for once. And to see what's happening. Speaking of racing, here we go live from qualifying. As we can see, one of the few drivers who have turned up to this wonderful event on this Thursday evening. Simon Trebek, running around the circuit, probably first driver on track, taking it very seriously, getting those early laps in, trying to get a good lap time on the board. We have seen him fighting quite high up the fields early on in the season, a few top 4 positions, even think some podiums from here and there. Let's see what he can do in qualifying, as he is on the out lap, I suppose. Don't mind me, that was a traditional Danish drink to be enjoyed by everyone from the ages of 16 up. Traditions on these kinds of races. I can say that without referring to what it is or encouraging others to do any kind of enjoyment of beverages of the kind. Yes, trying to keep it clean for the younger kids. As we actually get a good look at the track for the first time, what kind of layout we are racing. I can tell you already now, this is not the tri-oval. There are a lot more braking and a lot more turning than we would have seen on that one. The Slovakiaring are basically a triangle with an infield. as we can see him go through here. Quite technical infield, tight and twisty with some decent straights. A good track for overtaking and action. Or at least that's what we're hoping for. It looks like it on paper, but reality and theory are not always the same on this when we're talking about these kinds of cars, because, well, they just race hard. In other news, Pascal Jean-Pietri actually didn't clinch the championship last round, but he is definitely going to clinch it this time around. He have 128 points lead, and with only 140 to race for, it would be highly unlikely that he doesn't clinch it this time around. Anyone thinks that that anything can happen this time around? Anyone can challenge him, maybe? Hard to say, really. Not many race winners apart from Pascal Jean-Pietri in this series, to be fair. As we could go through the championship standings if I could find them somewhere on my many notes. As here we go. From 1st to 10th as always. Pascal Jean-Pietri leading the championship with a total of 328 points. 10 races in the banks, and 8 of those have been wins. Mighty performance. 2nd place in the championship. Fabio Pieri, also known as Fabio Gil, I believe. With a total of 200 points, 10 races done, 0 wins. Quite impressive that he's still 2nd in the championship with no wins. 3rd place in the championship, the Sem himself, Mr. Sem Spenkelink, the Sem Meister. The probably most hyped driver in this community, who have underperformed a little bit in this championship, or maybe the cars really just doesn't suit him. He's sat at 187 points, 10 races and a single win that was handed a little bit to him by his normal teammate Nard Cox. In 4th position we have Stu Neal, who won't be racing anymore this season, I believe, at 181 points, 8 races done, 1 win. Also in 4th position we have Simon Tripic at 181 points, 10 wins, 0. Oh, 10 races, 0 wins. It would have been impressive if he had 10 wins. 6th position, that Polish guy, also known as Jake Kowalowski, 149 points. But he have only done 8 races and he won't be racing tonight. Unfortunate for everyone, as he is one of the favorite drivers among all the mighty one spectator out there, who is, well, basically not having a life watching virtual racing on a Thursday night. 7th position, Dan Lenson at 132 points, also 10 races under the belt. 8th position, Marcel Not So Clean at 127 points, 10 races done as well. Jake Wilson, 125 points, 8 races done only. And in 10th position, Mike Abranosa at 110 points, 10 races done. As we are underway in qualifying and times have started coming in on the mighty timing board, Simon Tripic are currently the fastest driver on track, as Sem Spenkelink are in 2nd, Marcel Clean 3rd, Patrick Travers 4th, and a new driver, Mr. Koch. Can we say that on
it's
live?
Koch. It's Arnold Koch.
Arnold's Koch. I don't think we can say that on live broadcasting.
Koch.
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 It's the German word for cook.
You're not making it any better now, Dominic. Once a great name, says Pascal Jean-Pietri, championship leader and likely crown champion after tonight. In 1st position at the minute with somewhat of a gap. Arnold Koch goes off into the barrier, onto the gravel trap he goes, touches the wall ever so slightly. He will probably be going back to the pits and rushes out to get... Actually, he won't get a lap done if he goes back to the pits. It seems like it's a 2 minute 8-second lap, and well, you can't make it out in that time and get a time lap. Remember, in this series, when the timer runs out in qualifying, that's qualifying over. You don't get to finish your lap. It is what it is, and that's how it's done. Qualifying determines the starting grid for the first race of this evening. There'll be 2 races, a 20-minute race to start off with, and the second race will be reverse grid. The entire grid will be flipped upside down from the finishing order of the first race, for 30 minutes showdown for the mighty race and glory and fame and everything that goes along with it. Here we have the other German, Marcel, clean, sometimes not clean, sometimes not. Michael, some people might call him, but Marcel sounds better as
man,
he
Oliver.
started his final lap.
It seems like the German names aren't suited that well.
Oh, they're perfect. They are at least better than than the Polish ones. Delor puts in a time, as we saw. Clean goes a little bit wide. Maybe Dominic Giese can give us a guided lap around this track and tell us all about it.
Oh, it will be difficult, but I'll give me a try. So we have the first corner. It's a pretty fast right-hander, where we have maybe only lifting, maybe a little bit braking, but not much. As well as for the second corner with a little bit less lifting. And then we go into turn 3. Remember, between start-finish, 1 and 2, and 2 and 3, everything is straights. Long straights. Pretty good for overtaking. And then into turn 3, we have a 180 degrees corner, which is pretty difficult for these cars because they have only mechanical grip, no aerodynamics, or pretty less aerodynamics. And then we have a full throttle section again with turn 4 and 5, which goes again into turn 6, which is as well a 180 degrees corner. Then, out of that, goes into turn 7, which is taken by full throttle, and again into turn 8, which is again a 180 degrees corner. So you see, we have a lot of 180 degrees corners. Then goes into turn 9, which is also a little corner where you only lift, and then it goes into turn 10, where we have once again a 180 degrees corner, directly head into turn 11 and 12, which is a right-hander and left-hander combined. Back on the straight, good for overtaking into turn 13, which is more or less a 180 degrees corner again, and then turn 14, which is only a little tweak in your left hand to get right, and then you're back on start finish.
So all in all, a pretty interesting track, it sounds like. I have never seen this track before. We went racing tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see as qualifying results are starting to come in. Not all drivers get a time lap in. As we can now tell you, Pascal Jean-Pierre goes on pole position, Simon Trebek second, Fabio Gil in third, Sem Spenkling goes into fourth, Alexander Delor in fifth, Michael Clean, yes I said it right this time, in sixth position, Patrick Treffers in seventh, and Arnold Koch gets a time in and places himself at eighth. I do believe we have Mr. Nam on the grid tonight. He will be starting behind these guys, obviously. But yeah, interesting to see what's going to happen as we are now waiting for the cars to line up on the grid and the 5 red lights to turn on. Some interesting power lines around the track, photographers on the side, some flags being waved through the rooftops of the paddock building. Pretty normal stuff,
Maybe this is our scenery today.
Yeah, at least we have some. It seems like a pretty barren place here in Slovakia. A little bit up a hill. We did see there was an underpass underneath the track, probably for pedestrians or people spectating the race, maybe for wildlife to enjoy the track as well. Hard to say. No one really knows. Here we get a beautiful look at the inside of the track as we quick swap back to the final corner. As you can see, it goes a little bit interestingly onto the start-finish straight, or maybe this is the first corner. Who knows?
No, it's turn 14. As I said.
Anyways, we are live on the grid and the 5 red lights are on, coming on one by one as we are racing. Fabio Gil in third position, as we can see further back in the Hyundai, comes off to a decent start. Simon Trebek seems to be on the side of Pascal Jean-Pierre now, coming into the first corner. As their side-by-side NASCAR formation, as always, into the first corner. Pascal Jean-Pierre seems to be overtaking contact between Trebek and Pietri. Simon Trebek goes all the way wide onto the grass. Pascal Jean-Pierre takes the lead, The two Hyundais of Fabio Gillis and Spakeling chasing him down like fighter jets behind. Through the second corner, is going into single file now. Fabio Gillis seems to be the challenger at the minute. He knows that if he wants to pass Pascal Jean-Pietri, he needs to get it done early in the race. As we have seen Pascal Jean-Pietri just drive off into the distance so many times. We've got a good look of a nice hill there. Tarmac hill. It looked like simply no relation to Chris Hill, of course. Just a regular hill. It's not Chris's brother Tarmac. Sim Spakeling coming around now, third position. Some infighting further down as defensive lines are being taken. It looked like Marcel cleans Alfa Romeo as Alexander Law here in fifth position with the new guy Arnold's Cock following behind sixth. As he goes late on the brakes, overshoots a little bit and drops at least one, maybe two positions out of that. He gets a better exit though, but being squeezed onto the runoff area there by Mr. Nam as he's now dropped the two positions behind Trebek now. But side by side with the second placed car on the grid earlier in this race. Round another corner, he actually makes the re-overtake on Simon Trebek. As Trebek goes up on the inside, makes the re-overtake, the re-overtake. Maybe there'll be a re-overtake later in this race. We'll have to wait and see, as Patrick Craven seems to be desperate not to be last in the race. I'll cut the new driver. Respect to him for coming in this late in the championship, driving a nice Honda Civic. As we go now to Patrick Trevis, the chasing car, not to be the racing in the sausage end. Maybe that's just a Danish saying. Probably is. Coming around here side by side, Trebek seems to be on an awful start to this race. Drops once again down behind Arlen Cock as the re-overtake happened. Patrick Trevor seems to have the run and could make the move on Simon Trebek here if he feels up to it. Looks like he does feel up to it. No, he backs out ever so slightly. Can Arnold Cock keep it clean from here on out and keep the position ahead of Simon Trebek, one of the championship protagonists, or one of the drivers who have had decent chances for a race win in this championship if it wasn't for Pascal Jean-Pietri being so freaking dominant. Effing dominant in this racing series, as he has pulled out a 0.8 second gap up in the lead. Looks like that Cock actually have some pretty good speed in that car as he's up behind Mr. Nam this time around, but both of them makes a little bit of mistake, that looks like, as Simon Trebek goes onto the inside. Bit of argy-bargy, that looks like some contact was likely made. As we can see the blue Honda Civic of Cock taking a little bit of a grass trip there, cutting the grass, mowing the lawn. As we now look from behind Trebek's car. Surprising that he's this far back, wouldn't you say, Dominic?
Yeah, it's surprising. He was on second at the start, and now he dropped after lap one. Back of the grid, so now I have it, and now he needs to fight back at the top. Hopefully he can do it.
Or do you think he's doing this for tactical reasons to get a secure win in the second race this evening, where the grids will be reversed? Maybe we'll see him drop all the way to 9th to take a strategic pole position.
No, I don't think so, because as you've seen in every other race aspect of 2, Jean-Pietri fights through the fields, know where he is in back of the grid or something like that. Every time he was on the top, and his only chance is to fight back, gain the points he needs, and then try the same in the second race.
For sure, as they do have a little bit of a freeway fight here between Nam, Trebek and Cock. Really getting it in hard here as they're coming down the front straight of the track. No pun intended, of course. Oh, that looks so iffy when they go later on the brakes when they're behind. Does hold the brakes pretty nice with that Cock and does seem to get a pretty good exit out of that, even though he was so late on the brakes and carried so little speed through the corner compared to these other guys. The other guys being Nam and Trebek, of course. Coming up to yet another unnamed corner. Maybe Dominic Giese can remember what corner name this is or number we're coming up to now. As Cock goes around the outside.
Seems like turn 3.
Trebek did have more apex speed there, but he just sort of got boxed in, as Cock also got a little bit boxed in there with more exit speed. Interesting to see how this freeway battle is panning out at the minute. and how you can take so many different lines in these cars, which obviously gives us this amazing action that we have been used to all season long. Coming around another 180-degree corner, many of those around this track, as we learned from Dominic earlier in this broadcast. 5 minutes have already passed around here. Well, of course, with 2-minute laps and being on lap 3 now, time really seems to be flying by. As Cock have dropped a little bit behind this dual battle. He is likely to come back in this, as these guys will start fighting as Trebek goes to the inside. Sends it up there, actually takes the inside, goes first to the apex, but the switchback seems to be on there for Mr. Nam. Nam makes the overtake and blocks him a little bit there on the apex. Nam blocks Trebek, but fair move there, it looked like. Still in that single file formation once again as these three battle roosters come back into action. Or battle cocks, some would say. Around another corner we go. This seems to be the one leading on to the start-finish straight, as Simon Trebek is really up the rear of Nam now. I didn't say as this time around, because we've been told not to be so sexual on this channel. As Trebek now seems to be on for the move, he does pull out, does have a little bit of overspeed here into the first corner. Who dares to go latest on the brakes? As we see, Trebek now takes 6th position, at least for a short bit of time, but the switchback, once again, oh, the switchback. Nam back into 6th position, Trebek falls to 7th once again, as both Cock and Trevor seems to be in a little bit of a fight just behind them as well. This could be a 4-way battle, not to finish last in this race, as these laps will go on. All 4 cars coming in the picture over the small tarmac hill, Chris's secret brother or cousin or whatever we decided on earlier. 180-degree corner here, many different lines. We can see someone going right there, taking the exit speed over the apex speed. That could be a strat in these cars, as Trebek just seems to be following very closely by, with Nam right behind. The sweeping corners, the trail braking, the late braking, the inside looking, the everything you expect from these touring cars. Coming in now, taking different lines. Yes, we see Nam on the grass. Nam loses out big there, loses 1 position, maybe loses 2 or 3. That's Cock emerging, and that's Travis as well. Nam is off, Nam is way down now. Oh, what a dreadful mistake from Nam. This could end his first race this evening. Surely he'll be hoping for someone else to make a mistake now, so he won't be the racing in the sausage end after this one. Highly unfortunate from him. Back up to Alexander Delors, who looks to be behind Clean, I suppose that is, ahead of him. That looks like an Alfa Romeo in my eyes, though my eyes couldn't deceive me. They do that from time to time. This battle have also been going on now for 4 laps, though we have been focusing a little bit on the backfield today, to show them that we love them as much as we love the front runners. We love all action here on the SSRI channel. It seemed like someone was switching positions there. That's Patrick Travis. Patrick Travis is up into 6th position now. He was 9th before this lap started. Now he's up into 6th. What a lap he's had. Maybe there's been an issue from Trebek and Cock. But wow, that's some gaining as we see Trebek weaving a little bit in the background. Maybe he's not happy with something that happened. Coming in now, Cock have seemed to be quite a decent driver, good addition to this championship so far. Glad to have him on board, providing a great deal of action around these other drivers. Takes different lines, dares to go for the moves, and he does seem to have the pace to back up these kinds of moves that he's making. Patrick Treverson, the Alfa Romeo, quite well driving as well. We have known him for quite a while here in the SSRI community, but yeah, interesting to see what he can do. Only 9 drivers in this race, so finishing 6th will not even be top half, neither will 5th. You'll need to finish 4.5 to be top half in this race. Quite an interesting scenario around here.
Well, you need to split you in half to be in the top half. Okay. Yeah, you
need to basically have an incident where your car splits into 2. I think I would prefer the front of the car so I had some engine power, wouldn't you say, Dominic?
Yeah, the front wheel engine cars, it's better than the rear one.
Oh, and that's an unfortunate thing that came in there. Missed the name, got a drive-through penalty for ignoring a slowdown or several slowdown warnings. Not exactly sure how that pans out as we're back into a freeway battle here with Koch, Trebek, and Travers. Travers in the question mark car, and he has been a little bit of a question mark in this race. He does seem to have speed, but he just doesn't seem to be able to make the overtakes and make them stick. He can take the alternative lines, but it seems that the switchback works so well here. As Koch seems to have made a slight mistake. Trebek is up the inside now. It's all about the exit now, coming onto the start-finish straight. It will turn slightly to the left once again, as it does here. This time Trebek plays it smart and tucks into the slipstream. Looks like that Honda have a little bit more top end, as now he pulls out a slight bit, but I don't think it's enough to make a move into the first corner. It would have to be quite a ascent, as it looks like Koch made a little bit of a ascent there, or just have different braking points. We have seen Koch being so strong out of that T1 all race long. He does get a better exit there. Then Patrick Griffiths could look for the move. Now it would be sort of late, but interesting to see what he will do, as we soon will be going back on the brakes. As we have 8 minutes 20 left. Now it's Simon Trebek who comes with the overspeed. Wow, the double slipstream really works out for him. Will we see a free wide situation? Maybe no. Trebek goes back to the outside. Now he can make a sort of switchback, but it looks like Arnold Koch is there. And Travers. No, sorry. Yes, Travers went a little bit wide there. Koch now right up the rear of that Alfa Romeo. What a beautiful sight to see with these three cars being so close together on track. Small grids doesn't mean that you won't have great racing. Unless if you've tried them with a terrible track, which we haven't. Good track selection this season. Oh, that was a little bit of trading pains there. Trebek on Koch's rear end. Hey, that's Travers. Travers have been a little bit wide there. Travers went wide. Now it's 3 wide coming down the straight. 3 wide scenario. Trebek backs out. Arnold Koch's up into 6th position now. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Here's Travers and Trebek go side by side. Or at least for a little while, as Trebek seems to have backed out. No, he didn't. He's just on the inside. Switchback is on for Travers now. Doesn't seem to be working. No, Travers. Sorry, Trebek. Those names are too close to each other. Trebek up into 7th position behind Koch and can challenge for 6th now. As Arnold is only 3 seconds behind, but he does have an unfortunate drive-through to get through as Trebek now. Oh, Trebek goes through on the inside. A little bit weird to see Koch make a mistake there, but Koch can maybe have some overspeed coming onto the start-finish straight. The mighty blue Koch is coming for you. Going further up the field, looks like that Delors is still finding himself in that battle, locked in with Clean for the 4th position, maybe the best position in motor racing, as you just avoid going on the podium and standing there looking like a freak, finishing 3rd or 2nd. Well, winning is the best, but if you can't win, then 4th would be the preferred position for many of us driving around here. I've only experienced that once, being 4th.
I thought you experienced it.
Oh, savage interrupt. Arnold Koch sends it on Trebek. Arnold Koch have gone full send on Trebek, but does he lose a position there? Or Trebek must have made the overtake, as Koch seems to be sending it up the inside. Pushing Travers further back as well. They have lost ground to Trebek now. Trebek seems to be running away from this freeway battle that we have seen all race, or at least for the first 15 minutes of it. Sorry to interrupt you there, Dominic. You were about to say something.
Yeah, I forgot about it. I was so looking at this fight, I forgot about it again. But never mind. It was not that clean move of Arnold Koch there. I don't know what he's was thinking about it, but it was clean.
And no, he's not clean. That's the other German guy that's clean. This is Koch. He dropped all the way into 8th position, as Travers also made the move and got through. Looks like Trebek is gaining a lot on the low and Clean at the minute. He could actually get up to them. I mean, Trebek could maybe make it up there if he gets a real hurry on in this race. Speaking of this race, we haven't seen anything from the top 3 guys. They've just been running away, splitting up into almost their own separate races. with Pascal Jean-Pietri seems to be winning this race by quite a margin already, as we have seen all season. Untouchable alien in Pascal Jean-Pietri. Fabio Gill in second position, and Sim Spinkling rounds out the podium in third at the minute. So anything could still happen. As Nam have been disqualified, ignoring a drive-through penalty. Unfortunate for Nam, but he will be starting next race on... Well, I don't think when you get disqualified that you get to start on pole in the next race. He might find himself in 9th position, having to fight the way through the field after that unfortunate mistake. Back to Cock now, as he is looking interestingly at Patrick Treffers. He have been having such an interesting race this time around. Rookie in the championship, rookie in the car, rookie in the community. I think I haven't seen this name before popping up. Glad to have him around racing with us this time around. As we actually have people watching the stream for once live. I don't think that we have ever had that before.
We did.
Oh yeah, we had Dominic, but then we dragged him into the commentary booth. Maybe we should just open up the shit for all of our YouTube viewers. Maybe we can hear it in the YouTube chat for whoever you want to win this race. Let me hear you say, hey!
Hey! Oh.
Type in your favorite driver and we might even have a look at them later in this race. Or you can just type in Mr. Wonder Oliver and I will sing you a song. Yes, I'm a singer-songwriter as well. Not the type you'll not the type you'll hear on the radio, but the type you'll hear in a horror show. As the law is once again right up the rear of Clean. Maybe these can have a Clean coming together later on this race. 2 minutes 30 to go, which means 2 laps of racing. So 11 laps this race will end up being. They're going on to the 9th lap now as they cross the start-finish line into the first corner we go. Interesting to see these cars being so close together, but no move seems to be on around this track. I was actually expecting some action around here with the layout of the track. A few more drivers could have helped out, so if you're out there watching the race live or later on on YouTube after the race maybe, if you're interested in joining, then please go on to Sim Racing GP, right? Yeah. Probably find the community and sign up for this wonderful racing series. After this race today, we only have one more round to go, and that will be the double header at Macau. Same format as this race, but we will be racing at Macau, and winning Macau will basically save your entire season. Maybe Pascal Jean-Pietri have clinched the championship after this race, but have we won at Macau yet? No, we haven't. Can you win at Macau and beat Pascal Jean-Pietri, then you'll be the hero of the championship. As there have been movement further back, Travis is ahead of Cock now, and Nam is right in the rear of that train. Delors have closed the gap by quite a lot to Clean now. He have put himself in a position where he can battle onto the final lap and through the final lap, all the way to the checkered flag of the first race. Interesting strategy game Delors have been putting together here, or maybe he just got a sudden burst of pace coming into the closing stage of this round 1. Oh, this is what happened to Nam. That's why you have the exact same gap to the leader as Cock. He have been disqualified and is stuck in the pits. We did see that coming up earlier. But ladies and gentlemen, Arnold Cock, great job so far this season. As someone is asking, can we see Patrick? Wait a second, is that Chris Hill asking if we can see Patrick? I think it is. Naughty cameraman, he's controlling the cameras and then he's asking for permission to see Patrick. As we now have the move here from Delors coming into the first corner. I've been waiting all race to do that, but not really close enough to get it done. Coming up to the second one now, he does need to get a bit closer to make a move in this one. He can take a different line and attempt to make it in turn 3 or the third braking zone of the track. We have seen that work for Arnold Cock earlier in the race. Coming down the tri-oval. I always forget how long the tri-oval is around here, going onto the infield now. Look how close they're getting when they go under braking. The Law seems to have been getting a better exit here almost all race than Clean. He's very close now. Will he dive to the inside, outside? Maybe coming up. Trading of paints could happen here. Interesting finish to race 1 this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, people who identify as Other and Chris Hill, this is what we have been waiting for. Can Alexander Delon make the move on Michael Clean, going for the outside here, coming for the better exit maybe? He's picking up the speed, going hard on the front, but no, it looks like that Alpha is pulling away ever so slightly from him as his hopes and dreams are slowly fading away from him like a knife through the heart. Doesn't look like Alexander Delon can get a second Dutch car into the top half of this race, unless if he can split the car in half and split it with Michael Clean, as they have kept it clean throughout. Still pretty close. He does have a slight hope now of making the move and getting that magical position. Will he send it? He's right up the rear now. He could pull out and he could attempt the move. He is coming now on the outside, coming in. Maybe it's 2 corners to go, something like that. The Law on the outside of Clean. He's coming in for the switchback, gets the better exit, but have to lift there to avoid the contact. Pulls out ever so slightly, but he still have the overspeed ever just a tiny bit, but no, it's too late now. Michael Clean will take the position. Here we go. Michael Clean crosses the start-finish line, or will the finish line, start line is a different place on this track. As the race is now coming to a close, Pascal Jean-Pietri wins the race and becomes champion. This time he is actually champion. Not like last time. Fabio Gill in second position. Wonderful drive from him to fend off Sim Spenkelink in third. That's a podium for you guys. Michael Clean, what a drive from him to defend from Alexander Delon. 4th and 5th for those guys. Simon Trebek, a little bit disappointing, starting in second position, ending up in 6th. Does do a little bit of a recovery there. Patrick Travers in 7th. Arnold Koch, the new guy, in 8th position, but don't forget that he was looking for that 6th position for quite a long time. Had some interesting battles throughout. Good driving from him. And Mr. Nam in 9th position. DQ for him, ignoring a drive-through penalty handed out by, well, the game itself. Great race so far this evening. What did you think of the first one, Dominic? Any hot takes from that?
It was a brilliant race back in the field with Trebek, Travers and Koch all through the race. And it was quite interesting to see that Trebek has so difficulties in overtaking. I think he overdone it sometimes in diving into the corners, pretty into the fast corners, and then outbraked himself, while others can come out around the outside, take speed with them, and overtake him back. And the last fight of Klein, brilliant of him to take 4th place. I think it's best finish this season so far.
Oh, you think so? You really think so?
I think so, but don't be that sure. But I think yeah.
Oh, I can't remember what happened yesterday, anyways. So that's pretty good, pretty decent. As Pascal Jean-Pietri now have won 9 races so far this season out of 11. Pretty dominant performance from him so far. I don't think anyone was expecting that kind of dominance when we started this championship. But it's great to see some fast drivers coming in and getting some excitement on. Also why we have the reverse grid system, so the fast drivers will have to work for it in the second race. A big field drop have happened over the course of the season. People have been having other interests as well, but it's still open for registration if you're interested in joining for the last round coming up in next week, I think it is. I actually think we're racing again next week at Macau. Racing at Macau. Yes, you have to say it like it's a parrot who says it. There must be parrots. Macau. So yeah, Macaws, anything can happen there. Lots of animals. Maybe Chris can get us some on the broadcast. Going for sightseeing around the mighty skyscrapers and buildings in that Chinese province, Chinese city-state, something like that in Asia, close to Hong Kong, in that area with the, I can't remember the name of that fjord that comes in there. It's probably not called a fjord when it's in Asia. Yeah. Any interesting facts, Dominic, about the Slovakiaring?
No, I haven't. It is a track in Slovakia, and Slovakia was former a country with Czech Republic called Czechoslovakia. So it's kindly a Czech track, maybe.
Ah, yeah.
But not really. Just Slovaks hate these Czechs, so not really.
Tell me more. Like, does he have a car? Yeah, it is sort of like an honorary Czech track we are racing at tonight, so we can say Czech track a lot this time around once again. That was some pretty interesting facts that we have about this wonderful, wonderful track, as we are soon going racing again, as I think the drivers are preparing to line up on the start-finish line for the second round, or the second race of this round, around the Slovakiaring. As we have live pictures from the start-finish lines, the 5 red lights are on from first position. Nam actually does get it. The lights are on, and we are racing! Bad start from Alan Cock, as we can see Tripic coming onto the attack right away there. Nam gets off pretty cleanly. Travis also not the best of starts, as he's immediately under pressure from Simon Tripic. Simon Tripic shot off the line there. Good start from him, as he actually rams the back of Nam there coming into the first corner. Simon Tripic up into second position already. As behind these guys are the triples of Dutch people, as Pascal Jean-Patrick also makes a move already on Michael Clean. Not the best of starts from Clean either. Both Germans having issues in the start of the race, as the 3 Dutch drivers are in the picture with Koch right behind them. And this could be Koch's chance to shine. As we can see, Jean-Patrick makes a move here, goes early to the inside, but a lot of traffic lies ahead of him this time around. Simsport also on the inside here. He's on the inside of Patrick Travers, I think. I think it is in the some kind of car, maybe Alfa, maybe Porsche. I actually can't remember what car he's racing. But interesting to see that Sim is this aggressive early on in the race. He really wants that second win of the season, it looks like. Now he's under pressure from Delors. Delors on the inside of Sim Spenkling. Sim being forced to the outside, as Koch also seems to be wanting to get involved in this. Archie Bargian trading paints there as they go around the hairpin. For the first time, the second time, contact once again from Koch. Koch the only one not in the single file as we continue through. Jean-Patrick up into 7th position. How long will it take for him to get up into first this time around? It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Usually it is. Alexander Delors there, inside line. Contact that causes a bit of a Constantina effect, with collisions to both Koch and Pietri, that looks like. Hopefully they doesn't have too much damage on their cars, though. Touring cars, all these aero stuff are basically just for the looks of it. Doesn't help them that much in reality. Delors here looking a little bit, or looking on the inside of Sim Spenkling. Maybe that was a mistake. That allows for Koch to get a different line. Maybe he gets the run out of here. Pascal Jean-Patrick is also looking racy now. Up in the lead, it's Simon Tripic who got away. Now we act back to Pascal Jean-Patrick right on the back of Koch. As they go down single file start-finish line, who will move out and try for the move? That's 69 car. That's Pascal Jean-Patrick, and Gil follows him out. No moves done there. Falls back into the single file. When you break that slipstream, it's just like NASCAR style racing. You don't get a lot of help out there. You need someone to push you through. As they're side by side early up, I think it's some of the Dutch drivers who are getting racy there. Koch goes a little bit deep, makes an opening for Pascal Jean-Patrick as he comes in now. Makes the move, as Sim Spenkling is also on the outside of Patrick Travers. 3 wide almost right behind them. NASCAR style formation here. Ooh, this is not good for Pascal Jean-Patrick. Got a little bit big contact. Oh, major crashes. Jean-Patrick gets collected. I think that's the lower involved as well. Jean-Patrick goes slowly here. Not good for his chances. Maybe we'll see a different winner this time around. Spenkling got out of that one, but it seems like Travers, Delors and Clean were the ones getting the worst worst out there. Someone else is off the track in the background. Cock is up into 3rd position, looking for the move on Sam Spenkling now. Clean in 5th. Trevor's in 6th. As it's really hard to follow on what's going on in this race. Big racing further up ahead. Clean. No, sorry. Gill and Cock is in battle. Trevor's coming around. The Law 7th. Pascal Sean Patrick down into 8th position after that big contact we just saw. Interesting to see, just what Dominic was asking for in the pre-race talks.
I've never asked for it.
Oh yeah, you tried to back out of it, but everyone wants a bit of action on track. Very racy this time around. Fabio Gill, he will be looking for a way to get by Cock, but Cock has been seeming so racy this evening. Maybe it's not the easiest of tasks. Maybe Cock is not the fastest driver, but he's very racy, not an easy driver to overtake as Cock goes on the inside of Sam Spenkling now. Cock seems to be moving up into 2nd position. Drag race down the start, finish straight. As I'm getting that very sexy whiskey voice all of a sudden after all this yelling. He didn't make the move stick. Did Cock not? Gill now with the overspeed. Cock goes to the inside, trying to psych out the opponents there. Not the smartest, maybe we'll have to wait and see what's happening here. Cock goes very wide there, same does Sam Spenkling. Fabio Gill overtakes Cock now into 3rd position and the final podium spot of the 2nd race, as Simon Trebek is just gone in the lead of this race. 3-second lead for him as Fabio Gill, Cock and Sam Spenkling are the freeway battle this time around. This track seems to be very kind for the freeway battling. And Cock seems to be in the heat of all of it. Very warm driver this time. But this is really, really tail to nose kind of racing, bumper to bumper racing between Gill and Spenkling. We've seen that all season, these two drivers being very close together, providing a great amount of action. As Cock goes to inside contact, Cock goes sideways onto the gravel trap. It looked like, no, he's still on the track, still in a position where he can regain that lost track position to the two Hyundais up ahead. Gill closed, very close to Sim. It's just where can he make the move, where he can make the move stick. Equal machinery from these two drivers. Same Hyundai, I do believe they're driving. There are 2 different Hyundais available for this championship. Also Ladas, Opels and everything you could ask for in touring car racing. Different lines, we see that's both the Alphas looking at a Cock now. Picking that up, grass. Picking up some grass, cutting the grass for the green keepers around here. Hyundai lawnmowers, great kind of lawnmowers. I think they would be somewhat reliable if you did so. 1.6 lawnmowers, maybe that's an idea for the lawnmower companies. Would want that. 3 drivers behind going slightly wide. Maybe they're just following one another through there. Fabio Gill, Sam Spenkling, start finish straight. Magic combination, these things happen all the time in this series. Fabio Gill coming now. Oh, is he? Yes, he is looking, maybe he is just psyching Sim at the minute. No, it is pretty big ass to psych out Sam Spenkling as Sean Pietri looks to be involved in a battle with Nam now. No, that's the law, sorry, that's the law. Pascal Sean Pietri moves up into 7th position. Cuts a second away roughly of the gap to Simon Trebek in the lead. Interesting to see whether or not he will come back in this race. 22 minutes to go. He didn't win the last race with that big margin, so it might be a little bit of a mission for Pascal Sean Pietri to get back up into 1st position. This could be the win for Simon Trebek that he's been looking for. Action down here as Cock is in the battle with the other German, Michael Clean, and Patrick Griffiths just lurking a little bit in the background, waiting for something to happen and interesting events to take place. As I'm just checking, though, Simon Trebek haven't won a race so far this season. This would be his first one. It could be his first win. We did see him with a lot of troubles in the first race. He obviously have the pace we saw that in qualifying. As Travers goes deep, maybe he'll now fall into the clutches of Pascal Sean Pietri. The man himself. The myth, the legend, the everything. Cock here in an all-German battle. Only 2 Germans in this series, and they're both battling each other now. This will be for domination of Germany. Who will be the new leader of the country? the new word we can't say, I think. We have to ask a German about that. Can we say that word, Dominic? No, Chris suggests chancellor, but that was not the word that I was thinking of.
President, governor.
No, something more German that a certain man have called himself before. I don't think we can mention that of.
Oh no, no, you can't.
For YouTube reasons.
Oh man.
But the battle for Germany rages on. The two bombers coming into turn 1 now. Arnold Koch on the inside backs out. We have seen him do this many times to get the better exit. He is a bit of a master of this. Hard man to get by, hard man to battle. It is very hard to battle a good Koch. Through the first corner we went. Pascal Jean-Pierre lurking in the background now. Only 7.8 seconds up, but he's not gaining enough on the lead car Simon Trebek to actually be in contention for the race lead at the minute. This is brand new in this series. Pascal Jean-Pierre is not the favorite to win a race for once. Wow, that's interesting, as Fabio Gil makes a move on Sam Spenkeling up the order. And takes second. Arnold Koch now having to defend Patrick Treffers on the outside there. Sam Spenkeling back through Fabio Gil further up. Patrick Treffers and Alexander Lord, two Dutch drivers also in a battle here. Though there are 3 of those. Pascal Jean-Pierre now in the move, making the move on Arnold Koch. Sometimes I think you just have to give up these kinds of battles when Pascal Jean-Pierre is coming through. But I don't think that Arnold Koch got that memo yet due to this racing series. And very racy guy. He will definitely, if he gets a chance, try to get that position back from Pascal Jean-Pierre. As he's now up into 5th position with Michael Clean being the next driver up ahead. Can he make a clean move here, or will it get a little bit messy or dirty? He have a big Koch behind. I mean, he have Arnold Koch behind. As Pascal Jean-Pierre seems to be... Oh, this just proves that it's a hard track to overtake when Pascal Jean-Pierre is staying behind another car. We also saw that the last time we were racing though with a track that was difficult to overtake on, but Pascal Jean-Pierre just got it through. Fabio Gil and Sam Spenkeling wheel-to-wheel battling now. They have been at this for 2 or 3 laps. We have seen them swap around the timing boards. Close action between these guys. This does allow Simon Trebek to just extend that lead he have at the minute. 6.6 seconds to these guys and 8 seconds down to Pascal Jean-Pierre. That gap haven't come down for a few laps, but Pascal Jean-Pierre have also been in traffic. As Gil and Sam Spenkeling here, 2 very evenly matched drivers fighting it out for P2 and 3 at the minute. Though the more they fight, the closer Jean-Pierre will come to them throughout this race. As there might be some Pascal Jean-Pierre supporters out there in the YouTube channel. I think if you support him, please hit the like button for the sake of engagement, or drop an emoji of your favorite animal. As Fabio Gil and Spenkeling wheel to wheel here. As the lurker himself, Jean-Pierre is in the background once again of other cars. Now he's just waiting for the 2 Hyundais to make a mistake, and then he'll be clinical in his moves. Here he comes inside of Sam Spenkeling, holding it on there, just keeping it on the apex. Nothing Sam can do that, though. He is trying to fight it back. I was talking to Sam earlier this week, and he said he wouldn't be going easy on anyone. It wouldn't matter who was behind him. He would defend his position all he could. So this might prove to be difficult for Pietro to get through these guys. Great aerial views here where we can really see how tight this track is. There might be some great spectator points around here. Sam is defending hard to keep Pietro at bay. A new winner in this series would be nice for a change. The longer Sam can do this, the larger favor he's doing Simon Trebek in the lead of this race. Interesting scenario that's folding out here. Remember, Sam needs to stay close to Fabio Gil to be in the battle for that 2nd position in the championship. And Simon Trebek is not that far behind them coming into this evening of racing. Quite interesting to see. Quite interesting to see indeed. Sam Spenkeling and Pascal Jean-Pierre here, start finish straight. Can Jean-Pierre get it done here? A lot of moves have been done through this corner, or setups for moves coming down the next straight. He sends it up the inside. Oh, but Sim closes the door very hard there. It sends smack in the face of Sean Pietri. Great defensive drive there from Sim Spankelink. As the race continues, it looks like that this defending from Sim is allowing for Michael Clean to catch up to these guys. Fabio Gil is getting away a bit for second position as here Sim makes the mistake and Pietri goes through, but can Sim get the exit speed here and get the move or the re-overtake done, the switchback? It's a long switchback from that far back, but Pietri just places his car so perfectly there, leaving Sim nowhere to go. With the overspeed, Sim still tries to get that exit speed out of the corners, but I think it's he have to pull out the white flag here and let Pascal Sean Pietri go. Maybe Fabio Gil will be the guy who slows him up and they can get back into fighting. As Michael Clean is lurking in the back of Sim now. Half of the race is already done. As we now go back to Nam. A little bit of this point. What in the world happened to Cock down into 9th position and quite far back, interestingly enough. I didn't catch that in the race, but Nam in 8th position, close to Patrick Treffers, who have also been a man of contention. These two are fighting for roughly the same positions last race we had here in the race 1 of this evening. So they do know each other by now, you would think. But will that be an advantage or disadvantage for any of them? What do you think, Dominic?
I think it will be an advantage because every time you drive against a driver, you learn from him and you learn how he's driving and how not. So when he's looking at him, he knows, okay, in this corner he is slow or he's fast, I can't overtake him.
But do you reckon it's the bigger advantage being the defensive driver knowing the offender or the offensive driver knowing the defender in that situation?
It's more likely the same. As defender, you know, okay, in this corner you could make an overtake because I'm a little bit slower.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah, Sean Pietri making the move for second position now. Fabio Gil not defending as hard as Sim have been doing. Doesn't get the switchback set up here as Sean Pietri is now P2 in the race. 7 seconds though in 13 minutes and 40 seconds. A bit of an ask, but if anyone can do it, it would be Sean Pietri. He just needs to tighten up those safety harnesses around a certain area of his body with a name that is somewhat close to the guy in 9th position at the minute. Get that tightened and get going if you want the win, Pascal. Not that we're rooting for you, I'm actually rooting for Simon in this one, but hey-oh.
Yeah, but
He have great speed around here. Sean Pietri already now the gap under 7 seconds. Was 8 just a few moments ago, I think. He picked it up quite a lot. Maybe Trebek made a slight mistake. Hard to say from from this far back. Maybe we'll get an aerial to see the physical distance between the two drivers, as here we have Simon Trebek enjoying life in the lead of the race, but he can't enjoy it too much as the gap is now over 7 seconds, once again just dipping below. Probably just due to different lines around the track. But Pascal needs to pick up a second per lap roughly to be able to catch up to Simon Trebek, maybe even a second and 1.2 seconds, and make the move and get the move done on Trebek. And Trebek will defend this one very hard, I think, for the first win in the season for him.
yeah, but this overtake on Gil by John Pietri was a good example again for defending and attacking. So you know, as Gil, okay, John Pietri could be a little bit too far back, so I don't need to defend. But John Pietri knew it's okay, he could slow down his car enough to make the move. And this is this advantage, okay. I know how to drive this car, and I know, okay, he isn't defending.
Yeah, a great example of knowing your opponents. But we would have liked Gil to just make it a little bit harder for Sean Pietri, so Trebek could get a little bit of a larger gap. Though gap is still around the 6-second mark, he's actually almost making up enough time per lap at the minute to make this a battle coming into the closing stages of the race. Maybe not quite enough, but it only takes a small mistake from Trebek. He can't really be leading and going safe, and he can't really be doing it or driving too aggressively then. Sean Pietri will have a chance to pick up that time and gain the position and take yet another double win this season. Only twice that haven't happened in round 1 and round 2 of this series, or have it happened 3 times? I think it only happened those 2 times where Sim won at the first Czech track and Stu Neal won at Portimao, I think, as I was just about to watch YouTube once again as I did last time out. I will have to remember to enjoy that beverage, so Dominic, you can talk for 5 seconds maybe.
Only 5 seconds, that's not much time.
No, I just needed a sip. Why do you think that I've been bringing you up so much this evening, Dominic?
You're thirsty.
It's all part of the drinking game. I mean, beverage enjoyment game.
Yeah. I understand.
Obviously, no alcoholic drinks are being enjoyed on this channel. Oh, well, it's after 9 in mainland Europe. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. As here we can see from the back of Simon Trebek, there comes Pascal Jean Pietri into view. Pietri is not making up enough time at this point of the race. I do think that Trebek can make this a mighty win for the British. I know our cameraman Chris Hill is screaming in the background, yelling, "Come on, Simon, we want you to do this for God, King and country." Everyone we know here will be rooting for you. Everyone, that's what Chris is saying at least. Well, personally, I'm rooting for you as well, Simon. Keep going, mate, keep going. I wish he could hear me, obviously he can't, or maybe he's listening to the YouTube stream while racing. I sometimes do that when we do GT3s on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Anyone out there wondering, this is the last official championship that we are running in this spring season on SSRI. There will be fun races and fun championships coming up soon. There will be a multi-class race happening, I think, bi-weekly on Tuesdays with GT3s and GT4s, 1 hour of driving, where you can change car every week if you want to. Personally, I think I'll be driving it, and I'll be picking the GT 3.5 cars, the older generation of the cars, like the Jag, the M6, the original Porsche, the old Nissan, the one with the big-ass mighty wang, stuff like that, and the 1.9 series, where I myself will be driving with René van Dijkenhausen in the M6 in the GT 3.5 series. Maybe Dominic can maybe battle me with his GT4 car in that series.
Oh, you teamed up with René?
Yes, of course. Who else? Who else? Mostly because I know he's only available for one race, that I can take out the rest myself. No, that's not why.
Yeah, I will challenge you with Bert.
We're just racing it for fun. At that point also, what most people are doing here with WTCC, I don't think a lot of these guys are doing much practice, as we have a freeway battle down here with Delors, Clean and Sims. Spinkling have dropped back, or maybe you've been fighting Clean a lot. Or Cleanly, maybe, some would say. Hard to know, really. 2 Dutch drivers and a German, putting in the German guy in a little bit of a sandwich here. They are double teaming him, the Dutch guys. I wish that Cock was up here, joining them in the double team. But the Cocks will never touch, no worries. There's only one Cock, so we can't say that. Around here we go. This track seems to be opened up for the triple battles, as Sean Pietri have all of a sudden brought the gap down to less than 5 seconds further up the field. But these 3 guys going hard at it. Delors have been in the freeway battles before in this round, in the first race of this round. It's new to Sim and Clean. They have only done 2-way battles so far. If we count out the starts, obviously. Oh, Delors. Oh, that's further up. Delors goes onto the grass, and Sim Spinkling seems to be halfway turned by Clean there. Not a clean move from Michael Clean, as they are very, very close together. Maybe Sam actually spun himself and got some wheels onto the grass. Hard to say as now. Clean is on the inside of Sam Spenkling. Maybe it's the outside. Hard to say. Coming into the next corner. Clean is through Sam Spenkling. Going a little bit wide, trying to close the door. Sam Spenkling on the inside. Can't make the move on the outside. Coming back here. Now it's Clean up into 4th position. Sam is dropping like a fly in this race. Not as per usual we see from Sam. Uncharacteristic mistakes from this guy coming around here. The Simmeister himself has fallen from the great height. The throne he has been keeping for so long in this community seems to be crumbling underneath him. There's a new man in charge, Simon Tribec, in the WTCC. In the WTCC, what am I even saying? In the WTCC cars, it's Pascal Jean-Pietri taking the throne away from Sam Spenkling and his teammate Nart Cox in the GT3 cars. Something is up with Sim at the minute. Hard to say if it's just bad luck or if it's a skill issue we have run into. Maybe it's the cars, maybe it's the tracks. But this is very uncharacteristic from this guy. We always see him as a top contender and favorite to win everything he goes into. He is coming further down now. He is maybe not as alien anymore as he used to be. Or maybe it's just an uncharacteristic race. Definitely interesting to see him fighting for positions. It's very nice to see with these argy-bargy cars. Looking from behind Clean's car, as we can see Sam Spenkling. Looks like he's focusing a little bit more on blocking from the law, as Clean got out of the sandwich and the double team. I don't think these two Dutch drivers will be working that much together to team up on Clean, as they are bitter rivals down there. And as I know, the Dutch have a holiday tomorrow, so does the Danes. Ooh, Sam getting close there to Clean. He's actually on the outside, can make the cut back on the inside. He seems to be doing it. Sam Spenkling on the inside of Clean. He is actually through already. Not the best corner there from Clean, still close together. Clean could maybe try and get in the slipstream, chuck in nice and close and get the bump draft. Maybe they're 3 wide coming to the next corner. Delors backs out of it. Sam Spenkling and Clean battling it out hard. Argy-bargy, rubbing his racing. Don't forget all of that kind of WTCC stuff, as Dominic will take us through the next couple of corners.
Yeah. I'm not that quite happy about it that Clean dropped again against Sam Spenkling, but we know Sam Spenkling is a pretty good driver, and now he's going Clean wide, and Delors overtakes him. Oh no!
Maybe they actually did plan that, the Dutch drivers double teaming the German title of next sex tape.
Maybe I should start to hate the Dutch.
Oh,
no.
We already do. The fake Danes. The fake Danes.
I'm fine with Dutch people.
Oh yeah,
they
have some very nice streets. It's here from the back of Simon Tribec. 3 minutes to go and 3 seconds down to Pascal Jean-Pietri. This could come down to the wire. If Simon Tribec is in a situation where he can slow down, lose a second and not take the final lap, I think that would be wise of him to do if that comes up, but highly unlikely it will be timed like that. Pascal Jean-Pietri still have that chance of catching up to Simon Tribec. Simon Tribec just needs to get everything together, pull his shit, can't say that, pull his feces together maybe? At least pull something together, pull it out of his bum hole and get driving. Pick up the speed and keep Pascal Jean-Pietri at bay. We want you to win, Simon. Everyone out there wants you to win, except for the Swiss guys and the YouTube commentary at the minute. They'll be yelling at Pascal Jean-Pietri, of course. God damn it, get in there, get in there. Do it for the British. They need a win in motor racing.
They have enough so far.
No, they've just enjoyed 8 years of dominance, almost in Formula 1. Or how many
Hamilton, they have Mansell.
They have who? Mansell. It's a mixture of Mansell and Massa. They just combined into one to make a British-Brazilian hybrid, because that's the best kind of drivers we have. 2 minutes to go now. Now, yes, we seem to have been stretching his legs. Oh, well, not stretching his legs, drawing this My Danish sayings doesn't work that good in English, I've just realized. He has maybe given up a little bit on catching up to Simon Trebek, or Simon have heard us yelling at him some motivating words from the bumper cam of Pascal Jean-Pietri here. Write this day down, the 4th of May, and may the 4th be with you all out there. Pascal Jean-Pietri, the 4th wasn't with you, the 4th are with Simon Trebek, and will always be it strong with this guy. The 4th is strong with him, I can feel it.
Are you a Jedi? Or are you a Sith?
Maybe I'm none of them.
So you're like a Sokatana.
Fuck no, I'm not some weird alien. Totally xenophobe. No. I'm more like a cool bounty hunter type of guy. Not like a Boba Fett, he's an idiot. I will actually do like him. Not that we're talking about that, but more like Cat Bane, but a human.
You're Django.
No, Cat Bane. Cat Bane, no, not Django. He is just the clone. Oh, he's not a clone, Boba's the clone.
No.
Yeah, but he's the clone template, what I was meant to say. Why are we talking about Star Wars? We have 20 seconds left to go of this mighty race. Highly interesting race, and we're talking about freaking nerd stuff as we normally do on SSRI. Only nerds. The timer are about to run out. This is the final lap. Simon Trebek will likely win this race. Don't celebrate too early, though. We have seen all the stories about that. Timer's out, final lap, white flag, everything is out there. Simon Trebek is really looking to beat the mighty, the one and only, the legend, the myth, Pascal Jean-Pietri in this race, and deny him the perfect weekend to take the championship. He does become champion, Pascal Jean-Pietri, but not with a double win this time around. He can already taste the champagne as Simon Trebek comes across the line to take the checkered flag and his first win of this season. Only the third time a non-Swiss guy have won this season, the third time a non-Pascal Jean-Pietri have won. Great drive from Simon Trebek, completely out in the first one, but what a comeback in the second race this evening. Fabio Gil in third, Sem Spenkeling takes fourth. Delors, the other Dutch driver, well, one of three in fifth. Michael Clean in sixth, Patrick Trevor seventh. Arnold Koch in eighth. What a great drive from him this evening. Maybe not so much in the later stages of the second race. And Mr. Name. Hit the reset button, please. Comes across to take ninth position and finishes out the standings in this race. Great drive out there from all the guys. Simon Trebek wins. What a performance. One of three to beat out Pascal Jean-Pietri. I hope we'll see someone in the shed this evening to speak out on what happened to them this evening. Wow, great racing tonight. Dominic Giese, what are your thoughts on this amazing performance of these drivers?
Wow. I was not thinking about that Trebek could win this race, perhaps, because of his performance in race 1, but he proved me wrong. And I'm really happy that he won this race. Congratulations to him. And wow, what was this for a season? So we're not done yet, but more likely. And wow. Yeah, I can't put it in words because it was a so great season.
Oh, you can get your mind together and come up with some words for the final of the season next week when we go racing at Macau. A race where everyone has everything to gain and nothing to lose. The one race you want to win on the season. Well, unless if you are someone who's not Pascal Jean-Pietri, then you just want to win a single race over the course of the season. But winning next race will put you into the eternal Hall of Fame at everyone's heart out there. If you can do a Macau win, that would be amazing for everyone. The shed is still open for those who want to come in and have a little talk. Talk to us about the race, maybe answer a few questions from the commentary team. Anyone out there listening? If you're listening, then put an emoji in the YouTube chat. Just an emoji of whatever. maybe just a small emoji. We see some emojis popping in from Chris Hill. I'll put an emoji with a heart and a Swiss flag just to say that I'm also here. And Dominic is waving, though the middle finger looks like something that's spitting out something with that color and everything.
The force.
Oh, it's the force. It's not Arnold Koch who's doing stuff.
Oh man, Oliver.
No, but we are very happy for this this evening, and everyone out there watching, and those who will be watching later on, who will probably skip all of this post-race stuff. It's mostly to hear your own voice if you were racing. You could actually just go and drag people in and force them to do interviews and be like, "You idiots, come join us." Normally Sim will come in and join us after these races, and we have a nice highlight package coming in here from Chris Hill. Fancy stuff, first time we sees this. Or maybe it's just a replay of the first race, hard to say really, and get some great detail on what cameras are like and what stuff that Mr. Chris Hill have access to coming over Tarmac Hill now. From the front wheel of Pascal Jean-Pierre. This is all he saw in the first race, clean track. The almost jacked track, but not quite. Everything he could see. No other cars, maybe some in the rear view mirror, but only when he was lucky. We'll just give it a few more minutes before we see if anyone comes in and join us in the chat before we round out this wonderful evening of motor racing here on SSRI. Remember to join us for next week's event, the Macau doubleheader, and join us for our other community events, like the 1.9 Spring Series, I think it's called, the GT3, GT4 multi-class that is. So our 1 hour GT3, GT4 multi-class racing on bi-weekly on Tuesdays. And then of course in just over a week now, on the 13th of May, the mighty next round of the Endurance Championship. Well, we'll be racing at Imola. A track loved by many and hated by myself. Interesting to see what's going to happen in that one. After the 1.9 update, I think most teams are getting sorted now and getting the hang of it, but we'll have to wait and see. It's hard to tell anything from the timing boards on the community webpage with the tracker, because we don't know what times were set before the update, which times were set after.
Yeah, Oliver, but what is your feeling about the new update?
Well, originally I thought it was complete crap, and I still think it's the experience was nicer before, since the force feedback stuff. I've heard this from a lot of people actually racing with the CSL DD, that the new force feedback system does require a lot of changes to what you have been running before, compared to many other wheelbases where it just seems to be working right away. So I'm still struggling finding the force feedback settings that I would like to have, but yeah, it's hard to say if it's better or worse. We'll have to see after a race and how it does. It seems to be a little bit harder to get heat into the tires, but once you have the heat, the cars seem to be driving roughly the same as they did before. Yeah, and then we got some wonderful new cars as well. I think we'll actually be seeing all three of them in our endurance race at Imola. The new Ferrari, new Porsche, and new Lamborghini.
Yeah, we will.
People are already complaining about the speed of the Lamborghini and Porsche, and the Ferrari is OP and stuff like that, but hey ho, that's motor racing. That is motor racing. Are you looking forward to anything in particular coming up, Dominic?
Yeah, of course, the endurance race, the 8 hours of Imola, where we will race. Of course, I will look up to this. But of course, next week, ahead of the endurance race, the Macau Grand Prix doubleheader, I think it will be a shit race. What do I mean with shit race? We will have a lot of crashes, I think.
No, Dominic, you can't say shit. When you say shit, you have to say feces instead, of course.
Oh, fuck that.
You can't say that either, goddammit. I mean,
maybe I should speaking to German. Maybe this is better.
No, it's definitely not better. That will also be demonetized.
You can't every time drag our history into this.
I'm not. I'm just saying that no one will know what you're saying, and YouTube will demonetize you for, yeah, being German or something. I lost my train of thoughts. But anyways, I think we need to wrap it up because stuff are getting derailed here on the SSRI channel. I was Oliver Anderson, aka Mr. 101. Dominic Giese was with me in the shed this evening. Chris Hill behind the cameras. We're looking forward to seeing you again in a week. Have a good evening and goodbye from here.